find truth without God. Whether it is a lesson taught in the classroom, a promise made by a political candidate, or even a cereal commercial's comments on why their cereal is the best, the average Joe could find himself wondering quite often about the truth. Although I am young, I've quite frequently found myself confused by multiple conflicting questions or assertions. Almost always in these situations, people rely on what they call their best judgment to determine what is truthful and what isn't. But as humans, should we really rely on our own flawed evaluation on something that is also imperfect? Wouldn't it be more logical to look to the one who is perfect in his church to set the record straight?
When I was a little boy, I learned with so much joy about George Washington and the Golden Rule. Teacher taught us to love our country, love our God. That's what I learned in school. But nowadays it often seems that we're not teaching our children to dream. Not teaching them about the heroes dead and gone, the ones that built the freedom we live upon.
From the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, we must remember the sacrifices done for the new battles to fight in the darkness of the night. America, your shining hour is begun. Now that I'm grown, born and bred American, I wonder if we'll ever be the same again. A nation to find the truth is lost just like our youth. Will they have a future generation? My heart is sad and lost. Does anyone still believe in our cause? A shining city on a hill, ready to fight for freedom still. From the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, we must remember the victories we've won, for the new battles to fight in the darkness of the night. America, your shining hour is begun.
Jesus, please come, help us to be one. Lord, I hear the drumming.
Why aren't you coming? From the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, we must remember the sacrifices done for the new battles to fight in the darkness of the night. America, your shining hour. From the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, we must remember the victories we've won, for the new battles to fight in the darkness of the night. America, your shining hour. America, your shining hour is begun. Ooh.
University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee student and Youth for Truth Advanced Course Outstanding student Charles Marr wrote in an essay, "During the Revolutionary War, the founding of our nation, many interesting miracles surrounded General George Washington. These many miracles hint at divine intervention from God. I pondered the question, why? I wondered for what purpose did God aid Washington?"
In 1983, President Ronald Reagan said, "The image of George Washington kneeling in prayer in the snow is one of the most famous in American history. He personified a people who knew it was not enough to depend upon their own courage and goodness. They must also seek help from God, their Father and Preserver." Another time in a speech in 1983, President Reagan observed, "The Founding Fathers believed that faith in God was the key to our being a good people and America's becoming a great nation." George Washington kissed the Bible at his inauguration. And to those who would have the government separate us from religion, he had these words, "Reason and experience both forbid us to the expect that national morality can prevail in exclusion of religious principle."
Derek Hill, Youth for Truth Summer Course Most Improved Student, made this assertion in an essay, "All abortions are against God's will." Did President Reagan have a response?
In January 1984, at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, President Reagan said, "Let's begin at the beginning. God is the center of our lives. The human family stands at the center of society, and our greatest hope for the future is in the faces of our children. God's most blessed gift to his family is the gift of life. I've said that we must be cautious in claiming God is on our side. I think the real question we must answer is, are we on his side?" I know what I'm about to say now is controversial, but I have to say it. This nation cannot continue turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to the taking of some 4,000 unborn children's lives every day. That's one every 21 seconds. One every 21 seconds.
Franciscan University graduate and former Youth for Truth student, and now currently a staff member at St. Joseph's Catholic Academy, Joseph Stancato, wrote in an essay, "When our nation and or its freedoms have been threatened, we have always had a strong military force backing us up. These military personnel believe in freedom, and they have true love of country. But how can our military sacrifice their lives for this country if their country is removing God? How can they fight for policies and laws that are unconstitutional or un-American?"
In a speech given in 1969, then Governor Reagan said, "No government at any level and for any price can afford the police necessary to assure our safety and our freedom unless the overwhelming majority of us are guided by an interpersonal code of morality." On the deck of the tiny Arabella off the coast of Massachusetts in 1630, John Winthrop gathered the little band of pilgrims together and spoke of the life they would have in that land they had never seen. "We shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all the people are upon us, so that if we shall deal falsely with our God in this work we have undertaken, and so cause him to withdraw his presence from us, we shall be made a story and byword through all the world."
Abigail Reynolds, twice outstanding Youth for Truth student for introductory and defending the truth courses, made these statements in an essay. "The people have a right to know the truth and the whole truth. If parents are going to send their kids to school, Shouldn't they be taught the whole truth? Not just history with some parts lightly covered. You can't merely take a marker, color over certain parts of our nation's history, and act like they didn't happen.
In a White House ceremony in observance of the National Day of Prayer, May 6, 1982, President Reagan said, "I also believe this blessed land was set apart in a very special way. A country created by men and women who came here not in search of gold, but in search of God. They would be free people living under the law with faith in their Maker and their future." Thomas Jefferson once said, "Almighty God created the mind free." Sometimes it seems we've strayed from that noble beginning, from our conviction that standards of right and wrong do exist and must be lived up to. God, the source of our knowledge, has been expelled from the classroom.
Cause this is the true America. It's my land, it's my horse and me. It's my land, it's my horse and me. It's my land, it's my horse and me.